Hello. Okay. I'm going to eat this really quick. My adrenaline is rushing. It's super high because I missed a work deadline. And I absolutely hate that because I'm very professional. But there was so much going on last week. I was being harassed by a former employer, and that stressed me out. So I wasn't like in my usual business mode. So I missed the deadline, and it was due yesterday. No, it was due Monday. So I missed 2 days, and then I had to like rush to do it. But it wasn't really rushing because I'm a fast worker. So it only took me, the last time I did it took me 2 hours or less than that. And then this time it only took me 18 minutes. Yeah, I hate being tardy or unprofessional. It really upsets me. But let me finish eating because I'm really hungry. I didn't eat dinner last night, so I'm really hungry today. I don't know if this happens to a lot of people, but when they're like really high energy or like your adrenaline's rushing, like it's really hard for me to eat. Gently. No, he's playing. My little gentleman. Come here. I don't know. He doesn't want to come. Nope. What are you doing? Anyways. Shit. Oop, I didn't mean to curse. Yeah, so I literally can't eat right now because I'm just like, it sucks. But I'll eat. I'll eat probably like 2 hours later. Anyways, I set up the computer differently. It's on an angle because it kept dying on me. I kept overheating and I would wake up and it was like the blue screen of death. So I hope that this will fix it. So today, since today is Wednesday, right? It is Kind Science Art Wednesday. And yes, we still have the book to do, but it will come. Like, I like to change. I don't have a monotonous, repetitive schedule. I find that really boring. And I find that like it's not my learning style. So I prefer to do things. He's so cute. When they come to me, and I woke up at like 2 a.m. for some reason. I thought somebody was breaking into my house. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it wasn't that. Something fell, like a painting fell. And then I couldn't go back to sleep for like 3-4 hours. So I was thinking like sign language as a learning language can be improved because everything can be improved. And my thought process was, let's say I meet a kid that isn't verbal. I think sign language would be sign language would be the best. What is this? Oh, you made me coffee. I forgive you for being annoying. It's a love-hate relationship. Anyways, he's laughing at that. It's true. Whatever. So if a kid is being nonverbal, and the thought process is, because I'm going to Europe in December. And I plan on visiting the schools. I don't know if they're open or not, but I want to have a tour to see how things are handled in other countries. Because, as you know, America is not about education, it's about control and fascism and blah, blah, blah. So I want to see how they treat their kids and kids who have disabilities or kids who aren't learning at the pace that they should be learning. And I want to take that and modify it and integrate it. But I was thinking, if a kid is multilingual, because I was multilingual, they'll be struggling to translate words, because it's really hard to master when you're learning two languages at the same time. So I was wondering if sign language could be possible. And there's a thing, I have a book, let me get it, as usual. So in reality, sign language is American. Well, every sign language is different in every country. So if you're deaf in America, you're going to learn American Sign Language. And I know that Koreans might have it, and the Japanese are starting to develop a language because it's so complex. But this book has every language and has every sign. So what I'm going to do is trying to process this information and have it so when I meet somebody, I can, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. When I meet someone who's multilingual, we can essentially talk through cultures or languages. So like this whole thing, you have the sign, which is kind of hard to like understand because it's a movement, and then it has all the languages. Well, not all the languages in the world, but we have Arabic, Chinese, Dutch, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, and Swedish. So like literally, it's just like teaching them the sign language. I may be wrong about ASL, but I'm assuming it's different for every country because, vocabulary is different and culture is different. So there's going to be words that don't translate. And I love this book. I got it. Where did I get it? I think this was like $5 on thrift books. And I was like, I'm getting that because it's languages, like already that's worth more than anything. But gently. You want to see my kitty? Oh, he ran away. Never mind. So anyways, so I have this one, and this is American Sign Language, baby sign language, which I assume is less complex than the base language. And I bought these because, I teach children. I mean, I haven't taught any since Corona, but in order to make sure that I'm capable of communicating with anyone, I like to have different decks of educational materials. And some of them are really hard to come by. This is from Hay House, and they're pretty cool. I usually like Hay House. I like Chronicle Books. They have a lot of educational materials that aren't. He's very spunky. That aren't like totalitarian, like BS. You know what I mean? So, it's about a global education. Jesus Christ, hold on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Where is he? Hey, come here. What are you doing? Ow, my booby. What a little kitty. He's a little gentleman. He has a little bow tie. All right, go play. I know you're hyper. Or not. Ouch. That's my food. That's not your food. Okay. All right. Go harass somebody. Anyways. We have different little vocabulary, and it's not like an extensive vocabulary because this is for babies. What age? It doesn't say like the age group. I don't have a lot of experience with newborns because obviously I don't have any, and people are really protective, so I don't know how fast they learn. I assume they learn really quickly, though. They do. So let's see. So the deck is really big, which is great because you want to catch attention, and that's intentional, like it says it on the deck. When from kids. And you also want to think about too, like if I was designing something like this, if the kid is colorblind, you may want to have different versions. I'm going to write that down. Because we just assume that everyone is born the same, right? Like we're like in a mass production and everyone's the same. That's the problem. And if I really intend to make this game, I will make it on a professional level. Oh, he's so cute. Basically, I will make it into a PDF format, use Photoshop for templates. And essentially, I would give it out for free because it's educational. I don't charge for that stuff. I would take donations, though. That would be cool. But usually when I do stuff like this, I don't charge any money. All right. So we have bird. And on the back is a lady doing, she's doing this. And I assume it's like this. The problem with some of these cards and the way they show how to sign, they don't really realize that if you have two arrows extending outside, and this is just me as a visual learner, I assume it's like this, but I think it's like from one point down. I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to assume. So you have to be really careful with your visual indications in anything that you make. Anything. Anyways, just me. The index finger and the thumb are held close to the mouth and open and close like a bird's beak. So you're like this. Okay, so they totally did this wrong. Like this is confusing. So they wanted to be like this, but they made the arrows facing out. Like that does not make sense. And this is what happens when you don't have somebody who has like visual learning like skills. Like, this is some graphic designer just like whatever. I'm not complaining. It's still useful, but it is confusing. What else do we have? Okay, so this one is actually correct. But then again, they don't add that you're going to do it 3 times. They just have one line. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would put 3 times 3. Like, I'm crazy. So it's going like this because you're doing W. And then you're tapping your chin. 1, 2, 3. And that card doesn't indicate it. You have to read it. So with visual things, visual learners, you have to automatically assume that they can't read, especially this is for a baby, or some, like, you would have to really make this a very easy to understand, like, right off the bat. And that also has to do with gaming, because if you make a game where the player can't understand the controls really quickly, then they're not going to play it. That's just how it is. And I have some coffee. I like coffee a lot. All right. What else do we have? We have a more card. I don't know what that means. More. Oh, it's just the word more. And then we have this, which I don't like whatsoever. Like, this incendiates my soul, my anger, everything, because this is American. Like, this is a baby holding I'm not going to curse, holding a phone. Okay. A baby has no business touching a phone, interacting with a phone, learning from a phone. Like, I don't care. I really hate this. This really upsets me. Like, if my baby asked me for a phone, I'd be like, no, like, you're not getting a phone. And it's just so telling of our culture, like, and the way we parent our kids here in America. Like, it's just so telling. Like, this is what your parent is. Like, your parent is literally a phone. Fucking, I didn't mean to curse. It is freaking lazy. Lazy. I kind of want to throw this away because I'm never going to use it. Like, I'm never going to use it. So, bye. Anyways, let's see what else we have. So we have horse. You know, a very nice picture of a horse. And the thumb touches the temple while the extended first two fingers flap up and down together. I don't know. It's so, like, hard to understand, but I think it's like this, right? Whatever. All right, this one's cute. I like this one. So, blanket. You know, I love blankets. I have lots of blankets. I have blankets now, and I had blankets when I'm a kid, and I used to carry it around. So it's really easy. It's just like grabbing a blanket. That's cute. All right, I'm going to look through this some more because I have not done that. Oh, book is really easy. It's just opening a book. I can do that. That's easy. Interesting. Butterfly, car. Car is just steering wheel. That's easy. Cat. Cat is the whiskers. You just go like this. We have cow. Oh, this is cute. Cracker. This would get lost in translation if it was like a foreign country because, you know. Oh, that's cute. And it has daddy, and it says put the photo of the daddy here. That's really cute. And apparently daddy is just 5, and then you do this like a lot. So that's really cute. Diaper. diaper is important. So if you were smart, like a smart parent, like you would teach your kid like diaper. So when they poop their diaper, they'll let you know. And then you just change it. Like, wouldn't that be like really efficient? Like, I don't know. What do I know? Dog, drink, duck. Duck is the same thing as bird, but instead of one, it's two. Fan. Fish. Flower, girl. This one's actually quite cute. So it's like from here to here. And apparently it's a bonnet. I think that's how you pronounce it, bonnet. Grandma, another one where you put the picture of grandma and grandpa. Hat. Keys. Light. On and off and flashing. Okay, so yeah, that's cool. That's light. So it's like this. This means light on. This means light off. And then flashing is this. That's actually good to know because if I'm ever at some kind of weird, I don't know, I'm sure I'm going to use it in a situation. I just have a feeling. Milk, which I love the picture. Recently, I don't know if anyone's aware of this, we finally made breastfeeding in public legal in all states, but people still come up to women who are breastfeeding and they're like, you can't do that, like that's disgusting, you know. And at that point I would carry spray, like pepper spray, and I just like spray like the crap out of them. Like I really don't care, because it's none of your business, first of all, you know. So keep your mouth shut. And then this one's an interesting, probably outdated sign. It's like this. Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. It's not too bad. It's like milking a cow pretty much. So, I mean, cows are sweet, so it's not an insult. Mommy. And instead of daddy, it's this. Moon. Ooh, that's interesting. This one, I don't understand what they're trying to imply, so I'm not even going to bother. We got pig. Rabbit. Rattle. That's nice. Rattles, rattle. Oh, these shoes are cute. Shoes. Bringing back memories. Slide. That's so cute. I had those slides. These kids are cute. This is a really low quality picture though. Like, why is this one so low quality? I guess this was somebody's actual picture of their kids. Maybe it's her kids. And I find that really cute. But the quality really bothers me. But you know, they're adorable. It's so cute. Sorry for the noise. The kitty is like playing with everything. Squirrel. Swing. Toilet. See, these are important. And I remember this one. So in baby sign language, it's, hold on, let me figure this out. It's this. I think. No, it's this. I don't know. So in regular sign languages, it's like that. Well, that's poop. So I know poop. You know, I think that's important. Train, tree. Airplane and baby. Baby saying a baby. Ball. Banana. Banana is just the motion of opening a banana. Like I'm peeling it. Bath. I don't know why a baby needs to know what a bear is. Like, are they going into the forest? Like, that's really random animal to have. Like, what are you doing with your baby? Bed. Oh, that's cute. Bed is really easy. And, you know, it's just bed. Water we already did, and bird. So yeah, minus that one really crappy card with the phone. This is not too bad. And I'm trying to put this back in. For the price I paid, to be honest, I think I paid $30 for this, like full price. I wish it was bigger because this is really like low, not low quality. It's pretty high quality, but there's a lot more words that I think are important to learn. Especially words with emotions like anger, sadness, happiness. Like those are really important because if your baby can't talk, like obviously you want to know that. So I'm going to write that down too. And you don't have to put any of the in-betweens because, you know, there's frustration, there's depression, like those aren't necessary. Kids don't know those things yet. And then I'm putting warnings too. What would be important? There's no yes or no. And I find that really weird. Like, for example, I think if like somebody wants to hold your baby, you should ask your baby if they're comfortable. And I know that doesn't come up to people. They're just like, it's my baby, I can do what I want. But as I mentioned before, it's, you know, they're not a possession. Like they have free will and their own emotions. So for me, like I would ask if, you know, if it's okay if the baby wants to be held by someone. Yes or no are always important to learn in any language. And also dislike and like. That's really important too. So because, you know, if I don't want to get like really dark, but it's really just, hey, what are you doing? You know, I don't trust anyone with who I do not know, who hasn't earned my trust around any kid, anyone, especially anyone who's like related to me, a cousin, a brother, sister, mother, father. Like I inherently don't trust people that way with children because when I was younger, the people that were abusing me were relatives or family friends. So it's really important for me as someone who will eventually have a kid to have those two words, dislike and like, because if, you know, let's say I'm doing something and then somebody I know is like playing with my kid and they do something that I didn't notice, and then my kid's upset, and they tell me dislike, that person's gonna die. Like, I will murder them. So that's really important to have. And my cereal's getting soggy. And some people are gonna be like, that's paranoia. It's not paranoia. It happens all the time. All the time. The people that usually abuse kids are usually relatives and family friends. What? You can't have this. This is chocolate. I'd rather be paranoid than be ignorant and then have to deal with the consequences of my kid being permanently scarred for life. So I don't know. I leave it up to them. Like, if, you know, I can't tell parents how to parent, but, you know, I'll warn you, like, you have to be very cautious. So far, colorblind cards, emotions like anger, sadness, happiness, yes or no, dislike and like. What else? They don't have friend. They don't have enemy. And I don't say like enemy as like a baby's gonna have an enemy, but somebody that they'll mention that they really don't like, then you shouldn't associate with them. I have to like think in simple vocabulary terms. Like, if I was a baby, how do I translate complex situations? Together. And together is for playing games. Together to play games. And then only is to describe like only mom or only dad, because, you know, sometimes kids just want one parent. What? Stop looking at me like that. I don't know what else. Worried would be another emotion. What else, Heidi? We can do one more. And I'm trying to think of the word that I should put to label this. So just let me eat. Can't help it. I'm just going to put fur friend, because children who grow up with animals, you know, those are their friends. So I have no idea how I'm going to translate that into let me look it up, into sign language for a baby. They have an international sign language section, which I'm curious, where is that? All right. This is German. Where's the English? That's Spanish. Spanish. Oh, this is Swedish. I was like, is this English? Because it says absurd in Africa, but whatever. English does not exist in this book. Like, what the hell? I'm trying to look up for service animal. And since this book is old, it might be outdated. Service animal. Maybe they don't even have a word for it, and then we're gonna have to make one up, which is fine because that's fun. We're still in SC, sorry. $1896. Service. Serious servant service. So we have service as in work, and that's all we have. Which it works. I mean, it's really easy. So let's see. I think it's this. So yeah, so service. I have like hair in my mouth. There. I'm gonna put page 480. Which makes it easier for me because I don't want to like complicate things more than they are. Let's see what else they have. What other words are important? So only is only this. That's easy. And I put that only. Page 370. Making games is just so fun. Like, I honestly, like, it's the best thing in the world. You literally can't be bored. Like, it just, you know what I mean? And then and then they have all the words. And in Arabic, it's fakwat. In Chinese, and I'm sorry, it's supposed to be Mandarin or something. Juju, I cannot pronounce. Dutch is Aline. French, seulement. German is nur. Italian is solamente. And in Spanish, it's the same thing. Japanese is dake. Daken. Yeah, dake. Korean is yurtan. Portuguese is somente. Portuguese, that's how you say it. Russian, I won't even attempt to read. Tolko. Spanish, solamente again. And Swedish is endas. All right, so let's see. What else is important? Oh, yeah, that's important too. Duh. So, I'm just adding actions: hugs, kiss, hold. So hugs, kisses, and to be held. important to know. Duh. Usually when kids go like this, like they want to be held, so it's just, you know. And that's when the mom's on the phone, like ignoring. All right. So let's look up hug. Because I know love is this. To love, you know. And does this have an index to make my life easier? Please tell me it does. Oh. They do have International Sign Language. This is outdated though, so I don't know if it's like completely 100%. That makes it easier. But anyways, all right, here we go. They have no section for hug. The heck? People don't like getting hugs? I don't know. It's weird. Let me look on my phone. Okay. Okay, so this is love and hug is further extended. Not bad. That's easy. So hug, kiss, hold, to be held. It's a verb. Let's continue to add a little bit more vocabulary. Or if we wanted to go nuts, we would add colors. Because why not? Colors are fun. Because kids should know colors. Numbers as well, but numbers are kind of difficult to because they're not as articulate. So if you do, like, their little fingers are really fat. Yeah, so that's not really important. They can learn that at a later age. I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's pretty good. The colors would also like tell you if your kid is seeing colors the way everyone else does, or they're colorblind. Oh. So yeah. So basically what this is for is to supplement this base deck. And obviously I'm not gonna copy their layout or, copy their design, because, that's their stuff and I don't do that. But I will use the size because I like the size of the cards. And instead of having an actual person, it'd be a caricature. Because I mean, I could take pictures of myself. That would make it easier. And then I would just add it to this deck. And unfortunately, I can't give you this deck. You have to buy it, but my deck, I can give it to you once it's done. So this is prototyping, just using index cards to create a game. And I'm going to do the first layout of the card, assuming that I don't really have big index cards. It doesn't really matter. So the thing that's important is the middle image. Yeah. And basic colorful patterns. And I'm going to put front and then use the back. Really easy to make games, it starts in paper, starts in Word. And then what's important is the word. So for emotions, because this is those are going to be a little tricky. I would have to actually interact with the baby to understand, or a toddler to understand, like, how they do emotions. So I'm just going to put question mark, to be continued. Yes or no. So I'm putting title, essentially word. And then image in the middle. And this yes or no, since it's a verb, like it's an action, you would have to do it while you're talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? And then on the back, you would have the sign language, right? And I would just I would remove the text, because if you have something that is visual, like you can understand it. So SignLanguage with indicators of motion. And there's a word for that. I don't know what it's called. Let's look it up. I'm sure there's a word somewhere. So it's just called motion line. So motion line. This is actually from learning animation. When you make an animation, you have motion lines to help you understand where the character is going to go, how it's going to like walk. So this is me translating what I've learned into something different. And a lot of people should learn about motion lines to make graphic design more readable. But anyways, and then on the bottom, where the text would have been to explain how to do it, I'm going to put the multiple language. And that's because it just, why not? Because not everyone, this could be an international thing. This is a problem that happens all over the world. Not a problem, excuse me. This is some babies all over the world can be deaf. So, or, babies can learn. So might as well have all the languages, at least the major languages. A mosquito bit me like right here, really freaking, oh no, it's a cat scratch. Never mind. So yeah, so this is a prototype. So you have this, and this is the actual layout design. I love layout design. It's one of my favorite things to do. And you keep these, because these were the original idea. And then you start to develop, the actual cards. I'm trying to think of something. So in the pipeline for making a prototype, if this was an actual game, you'd have the rules, et cetera, et cetera. But since this is just to learn sign language, there's really no rules that you need to write about, which makes it easier. And what I would do is use, I like Illustrator more than I like Photoshop, because Photoshop is so heavy. Illustrator to set up the dimensions of a template of a card and replicate it across the screen. And then you start putting in the text. You don't have to make fancy text. You just put in basic text, because you can always change and modify it. And then put the images, and then just keep going in that process. And then sometimes the game changes completely. I mean, the design will change depending on what you like, or depending if you ask for critique from somebody, like, which is always good to have another opinion. And then you modify it. And for people that don't use Illustrator or Photoshop, you can always change the design. So, it's really easy. But yeah, that's it. So for this, this is great. I think I don't have Illustrator and I don't have Photoshop, because I refuse to pay for it. It's really expensive. So this is going to be on hiatus until I figure out maybe another program, but it's so hard to find something that's compatible with everything else. So yeah, so that's it for prototype design. I'm going to put it in the deck. so it doesn't get wet or I lose it, and I'll remember, you know. And then what time is it? How long has this video been? And then for later today, because it's, do I feel like studying? Today's Wednesday. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I have anything that I have to get done for work. I just have to turn in paperwork. That would take me like a second. So yeah, so there's a possibility that I may be going back into the game design book, chapter 2. Might as well do it now, right? Just because, you know, if I walk away, I'm going to get lazy and then I'll probably take a nap because I did wake up at like 2 in the morning. So let me get it. I don't want my book to get wet. All right. So I'm not going to read all the chapters right now, but I'm going to read at least one chapter. Oh, look, another pen. Yeah. So we have for this week, where's my highlighter? Freaking highlighter. I need more highlighters. I need different colors. So week 3 is chapter 6 through 10. And I should really put the dates that I finished these. So I'm going to put 610. All right. So the element, let me see if I can. Yeah, that's good. So the elements support a theme. And then if you can see backwards, you know, apparently I already read this part. To write a mighty book, you must choose a mighty theme. And again, you know me, I like quotes, so I'm going to highlight that. I'm just weird. I don't say it as a bad thing, though. I'm just me, uniquely me. There's no one else like me in this world, and that's cool. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Mere games, or wait, is that how you say that? I don't know that word.
Mere.
Okay, so I said it right. Mere games. Great themes and deep meanings are often associated with literature or with great works of art. It is pretentious for a mere game to aspire to the same levels of greatness. Oh, is it pretentious? He's asking a question. As game designers, we must confront the painful truth that many people view games in all their forms as meaningless diversions. And here we have something that is true or not, depending on who's playing the game. Because there are games that aren't diversions, they're educational. So I'm kind of lazy. I'm just going to put yes, no. The games that are out for money, like cash grabs, yeah, those are just diversions from what's happening. And people they get addicted to those games, and just says a lot about the person and their quality of life. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to insult anyone, but if you're using a game to escape the reality, then you have to work on your real life. So anyways, usually when I press people who hold this view, I can get them to admit some game that is very important to them. Sometimes it's a sport, either one they have played or one they watch religiously. Sometimes it's a card or board game that formed the cornerstone of the relationship with someone important to them. And I'm just thinking, how did we get into gaming? Oh yes, my male cousins got me into. They had a Nintendo 64 and a PlayStation something. So anyways, sometimes it is a video game with a storyline and characters that they identify with. When I point out that the hypocrisy of games as meaningless, but a game as meaningful, they explain, well, it really wasn't the game that I cared about. It was the experience that went with the game. But as we've discussed, experiences aren't just associated with games at random. They are what emerge when players interact with a game. The parts of the experience that are important to people, such as the drama of a sporting event, the camaraderie between bridge players, or I don't know what bridge is, or the rivalry of chess enthusiasts, all are determined by the design of the game. Some people make the argument that games, especially video games, cannot be deep and meaningful. That's not true, because those are only boomers who say that, because they're boring. Gotcha. The same argument was made about film at the beginning of the 20th century, when it's silent and black and white. As technology increased, this argument faded, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so since I read this already, it's not something that I'm going to delve into. I want to see what I highlighted. Here they're talking about social impact gaming. He doesn't mention that word, but he says if games have unifying, resonant themes, the experiences we create will be much stronger. Sometimes it is best to let a theme emerge as you are creating a game. And I apologize. I just realized in my 2 a.m. crazy thinking, brainstorming, I had another game that I was going to design. And this one will come into fruition when I learn programming. All right. I can't remember the rest. It's lost and deep in my thoughts. All right. Figure out what your theme is. Use every means possible to reinforce the theme. Most game themes are experience-based. And what is this list? And so step 1 was completed. We knew our theme. Now for step 2, use everything to reinforce the theme. And we really didn't work hard. Everything, just for example, following. He's doing something with so he's making a game, the fantasy of being a pirate, and then this is how he added to So cave shape, stereo optics, modify 3D glasses, motion platform, interface, visuals, music, audio, a feeling of freedom, and dead men tell no tales. And the death, death factor in games, those are always fun to play with and modify. But I'm not going to talk about what I would do because then people are going to take my ideas. Resonance. Yeah, this I remember, and it's really short. So yeah, and then the game begins with the idea. So this is just common sense. You just start, you know, and you brainstorm. And brainstorming. Okay, so we'll talk about brainstorming because not a lot of people do brainstorming. You know, I brainstorm like every day. Like it's just something that's fun to do for me. So brainstorming helps in any aspect of your life. Music, studying, socialization. I don't know what else, just everything. Brainstorm tip number 1, the right answer. You stated your problem, now start writing down solutions. And for me, because he wrote answer instead of solutions, there's a difference between answers and solutions. Solutions are actively seeking to solve a problem or a question. And when I talk to people on a professional level, they're always like, yes, we have your answers. I was like, I didn't ask for answers. I've asked for solutions. And they're like, oh, but I was like, there's a difference. So if somebody gives me answers, you know, I just tell them like, I already know the answer. I came to the conclusion. I need solutions, you know, because that's your job. Write or type. And basically brainstorm number 2. Do you write it or type it? It really depends on your style. I prefer doing both because you can create a living document. After you write it by hand, you create a document that you always update. And that makes it really easy to organize yourself and also to share it with your team if you have a team. Oh, I didn't see that until now, Gio, but we'll go like, because I'm just going to read these and then I'm going to turn off the video. Why are we going to Best Buy? He's not. I want to go to Goodwill. That's my place. Brainstorm number 3, sketch. You know, some ideas aren't expressed through text. You know, drawing is really important. Tip number 4, find toys that are similar to your idea. You know, like, I don't know where I put it. Yeah, the SignLanguage deck, other games. You know, you want to play those games and see, you know, what you know, what works with that, what works with that, blah, blah, blah. And then I highlighted created. I can't talk today. Jesus. Creativity is silly. I like that. Possibly I would get that as a tattoo. Or just say it. Immerse yourself. So this is play testing pretty much. Or actually, no, I apologize. It's going into the environment that you're trying to going to find the audience that you're trying to make this game for, and studying them like a weirdo. And number 7, crack jokes. Yeah, you have to have a sense of humor, you know. Spare no expense. I'm big on that. Like, I'll use my really expensive markers for everything. The writing on the wall. Oh yes, having a whiteboard is one of the best things that you can have. Like, I have several whiteboards and it just makes brainstorming so much easier. The space remembers. And this is just like creating, putting your ideas up on the wall so you can remember. It's kind of like a investigator kind of thing, you know, where they have all the pictures and then they have all the string and whatever. Like it's like that. Write everything, yes. I do that. Number your list. Being organized is very important. Destroy your assumptions. Make a list of everything about your game that you're assuming to be true, such as, I assume that it is designed to be played indoors. So, yes, this is what I was talking about. If you're a game designer, like the person that designed the baby deck, the SignLanguage deck, she's not a game designer. She's just somebody who, you know, wanted to make something educational. But if you're a game designer, you don't assume anything because, you know, assumptions can make or break things. So anyways, mix and match categories. Which is mixing different. So he has a list, which is great. Technology ideas, mechanics ideas, story ideas, aesthetic ideas. So, you know, there's so many options to make an interesting, unique game. This is hilarious. And we're almost done. Talk to yourself. I do that all the time. I talk to myself when I'm thinking of speeches, you know. Don't think I'm like crazy. I mean, I am. But when I do my speeches, I literally debate with myself. And then I have like really awesome speeches. Find a partner. That's really important. I don't have a partner to design games with. Would like one. And then that's the end of the chapter. And that's great. When I come back from wherever I'm going to go, we will continue to chapter. Was it chapter 10? Yeah, we'll do chapter 10. I'll do it because this is already like getting me excited. I'm such a nerd. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And feel free to comment. I don't really care if you subscribe. I don't care if you give me a likes, but it's nice. But you do you. And what's going on with my hair? I will be back in a few hours to post the rest of this book.